Hello, and welcome to News Now on M6. I'm Parker Foster.
And I'm Logan Wright.
In today's top story, we have on Monday, April 29th, Mark Steven Domingo, 26-year-old Army veteran, was arrested by federal authorities. Domingo was arrested for plotting a series of terrorist attacks in LA. He wanted to plant improvised explosive devices in the Santa Monica Pier in Long Beach in what the Department of Justice describes as for the purpose of causing mass casualties. The reason for the plotted attacks was that Mark wanted to avenge the New Zealand mosque shooting. Mark was charged with providing and attempting to provide material for terrorists.
Japan's Emperor Akihito renounced his throne after 30 years in office due to age and health concerns. Akihito is the first emperor to abdicate his position in 200 years. His son, Prince Naruhito, took his place on Wednesday, May 1st.
The leader of Venezuela's opposition, Juan Guaido, has taken to the streets of Caracas to call for a rise against President Nicolas Maduro. Guaido has specifically called for the rise of the military to stop defending Maduro and to stand alongside the opposition. The Venezuelan revolution has gone on for several months and has been extremely bloody, turning the country upside down.
Witnesses say that all you could see was fire. A Hawaii tour helicopter had crashed in a city just outside of Honolulu. Unfortunately, all 3 passengers on board passed away. Paramedics were responding to an unrelated call of a patient with a leg pain when they heard the horrific bang. Neighbors in the surrounding areas pitched in to help put out the fires and get the patients away from the fires.
Due to the ice from winter and high easterly winds, St. Clair River officials have been tracking the water levels. Officials say that the water levels are 7 to 8 inches above their normal levels. National Weather Service has been tracking the wind speeds through the spring and says at a certain point there should be strong enough winds for a flood, and St. Clair, Detroit, and Erie residents have been warned of possible flooding.
Late Sunday night, a 27-year-old man had been jailed for a series of crashes that led police 20 miles down the highway. The chase led to a series of charges including fleeing a police officer, unlawfully driving a motor vehicle, assault, obstructing and resisting a police officer, causing injury, and possession of cocaine.
Oh, I heard that chase was something.
Yeah, that's pretty scary, especially because we were on the bus right behind the chase, actually, coming home from a baseball game. So
yeah, that's not far from us.
Yeah, it's kind of eye-opening, too. Now we're going to send it over to Cade, who has some interesting sports stories for us.
Thanks, guys. This past week, Nashville, Tennessee held the annual NFL Draft. On April 25th, the first round took place. The Cardinals sat comfortably with the first pick and took quarterback Kyler Murray from Oklahoma. The 49ers followed by taking Nick Bosa from Ohio State with the second pick. This year's draft also consisted of many surprising picks, including the Lions, as they took the young tight end out of Iowa, T.J. Hockenson, with the 8th pick in the first round. The Lions ended the weekend with a total of 9 new players to hopefully turn their season around next year and make a playoff run. Now to the ice. NHL apologizes to the Las Vegas Golden Knights about the major penalty call. The score before the bad call late in the third period was the Las Vegas Golden Knights 3 and San Jose Sharks 0. The referees made an emotional call and gave the player that hit Pavelski a 5-minute major and a game misconduct penalty to Paul Stastny. Vegas could have won Game 7 to move forward to Round 2 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now to the Diamond. Michigan baseball is having one of their most terrific seasons in quite some time. The Michigan baseball team currently sits at 31-11, which is good enough for first in a very tough Big Ten conference. Michigan is also currently on an 8-game winning streak, but that will be put to the test this week as they travel to Maryland for a 3-game series. Hopefully the Michigan baseball team can finish their season strong and earn a Big Ten title. We'll be back with more news now after this short break.
In America, and most of the world, we all use electricity to fuel the basis of our everyday lives. With the rise of clean coal and a new governmental push for fossil fuels, there is a push back from the environmental community for more solar power. In the US, from 2017 to 2018, there was a 0.6% increase in fossil fuel use and only a 0.3% increase in solar energy. Though it may sound similar, the increase in fossil fuel use is 113 billion kilowatt hours versus only a 14 billion kilowatt hour increase with solar. In total, solar power only produces about 2.5% of what fossil fuels produce. Clean and renewable energy is something that eventually everyone will need to convert to. The cost of solar has come down significantly. In fact, it's even cheaper than fossil-fueled power plants. Getting ahead of the curve now will allow us to cut down on pollution and hopefully have a healthier planet and healthier lives in the future.
Welcome back to News Now. So Parker, I hear you got a story that's truly bananas.
Oh, I do. It's some real Planet of the Apes stuff. Recently, a ninja gorilla has escaped his enclosure's electric fence without getting zapped in Burgers Zoo in the Netherlands. Once the gorilla made it through into the forbidden zone, the other gorillas stood around in confusion. The gorillas also tapped on the window and looked at the visitors on the other side of the glass. The ninja gorilla also managed to make its way back into the enclosure again without getting zapped.
New York Giants draft pick Corey Ballantyne was wounded, and his college teammate Dwayne Simmons, who was entering his senior year at Washburn University, was killed in an off-campus shooting that occurred on Sunday, April 28th. The two were out celebrating Dwayne's upcoming year at Washburn and the beginning of Corey's professional career. But instead, their celebration was interrupted by a senseless act of violence. The impact of Dwayne and his love for the game will live on, with teammates like Corey. Wow, Parker, that Ninja Gorilla story, that's really something, honestly.
It really is.
I've never heard anything like that, but now we're going to send it over to Kayla, who has some interesting and some school news for us.
Thanks, guys. Have you been hitting the books lately? AP testing is coming up fast. Testing will begin on May 6th, then run through May 17th. Marysville offers some great classes to their students, such as AP US History, Psychology, Biology, World History, and many more. Good luck to all who are testing. Have you ever heard of dual enrollment? This is an opportunity to take college courses while taking your regular high school classes. If you're interested in this, I would highly encourage you to speak to one of the counselors to get more information. Marysville High School students interested in joining a branch of the Armed Services can meet with advisors from the branches this week. The U.S. Navy came in Wednesday, May 1st, followed by the U.S. Army on May 2nd. Upcoming visits include the U.S. Air Force Tuesday, May 7th, and the Marines May 14th. We hope that anyone interested is able to get the information they need. Join us for more news now after this short break. 2019, the media, it is not an uncommon thing to see kids and adults isolating themselves in their technology. Today we will show you how technology is affecting our society. CBS Local tells us that 74% of millennials prefer conversing digitally rather than in person, and that 62% of people admit to using digital gadgets while with others. Teenagers between the ages of 12 and 17 report using text messages in their daily lives more than any other form of communication, including face-to-face interaction. Nonverbal communication is an important part of communicating, and it includes facial expressions, eye contact, tone of voice, as well as posture. Space between individuals. With technology nowadays, kids are not exposed to this type of interaction. To recapture the society we left behind for our technology, we encourage you to put down your phones and go talk to someone, face to face. Make a real-life connection and reverse the deterioration of such a vital life skill.
Welcome back. So, Andrew, I hear you have some interesting technology stories to tell us.
Yes, I do, Parker. This past weekend, the First Robotics held their World Championship competition. The competition was held at the Detroit Kobo Center. The competition ran over 3 days with over 400 teams and 42,000 people from over 42 countries made their way to compete and watch the competition. An alliance of mostly Michigan teams was victorious. Recently, Microsoft has put their new adaptive controller on the market for people to purchase. It was the first revealed in May of 2018, and its goal is to allow people like disabled U.S. veterans to play video games with ease. According to Microsoft, Phil Spencer, the controller is popular in occupational therapy. It receives Time Magazine's award for one of the best inventions of 2018 and costs $99. Samsung Galaxy Fold is their new brand, or new $2,000 flagship phone. The review units for the combination phone and tablet were recalled after many reports of screen issues and the devices completely breaking. The recall helped result in a 57% decline in first quarter profit for Samsung. We'll be back after this short break.
Thanks, Andrew. Parker, how do you feel about the new adaptive controller?
I think it's a really good idea.
That's true. I remember seeing a lot about it last year, and I wasn't too sure when it was going to come out, but I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and it sounds quite affordable, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So, anyway, Michaela, Avengers Endgame was a pretty big movie. You have anything about that for entertainment?
I sure do, guys. Well, Avengers Endgame, the most highly anticipated Marvel movie to date, hit theaters April 25th. It's safe to say that this movie lived up to the hype as it pulled in $350 million domestically and $1.2 billion globally, which are both records. Endgame caps off the previous 21 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fans are now eager to see what Marvel will do next. Moving into awards, Brandon Victor Dixon and Baby Newirth announced the nominations for the Tony Awards on Tuesday. The Tony Awards will be held on Sunday, June 9th at Radio City Music Hall in New York. The awards will be airing on CBS at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Fans won't want to miss this exciting award show hosted by James Corden. And hitting the box office with the release of its teaser trailer on April 12th, Star Wars fans now have another movie to look forward to. This teaser only features the characters Rey and Kylo Ren in an open desert setting. J.J. Abrams will be directing this movie with help from George Lucas, and it can be expected to be released on December 20th, 2019. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michaela. So, Avengers Endgame, what did you think about it? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet. I bet that's pretty surprising because I think just about everybody's seen it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it blew me away. It was a
Did it?
great cinematic experience.
I got to make sure I go and see it though before it's out of theaters, that's for sure.
You better. Well, this has been News Now on M6. I'm Parker Foster.
And I'm Logan Wright.
Please join us next time.